We are going to begin by reviewing what we learned in our last class. I would like for you to open your books and look at the clocks at the top of the page. Pay attention to where the hour hand and the minute hand are in each picture. We can see that the first picture says that the time is 8 o'clock. We know this because the minute hand is pointed at the 12 and the hour hand is pointed at the 8. As we look at the other two clocks, we see that as the minute hand makes one full rotation around the clock, the hour hand moves from 8 to 9. In reviewing, we know that 60 minutes are in 1 hour. We can see that whenever the minute hand is at the 12, we know that 60 minutes have passed and the new hour is beginning. We also know that when the minute hand is pointing at the 6, 30 minutes have passed, or 1/2 hour. Today we want to look at the clock divided into even smaller pieces. Every time the minute hand moves to a new number, it tells us that 5 minutes have passed. If we think back to our activity of skip counting by 5s up to 60, that is exactly what we have to do to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes. To do this, our first step always needs to be looking at what hour it is. We do this by looking at the hour hand, and if it is in between two numbers, we know that we are talking about the smaller number. Next, we look at the minute hand. We start at the top number 12 and skip count by 5 and stop wherever the minute hand is pointing. Let's look at the clock on the board. We can see that the hour hand is in between the 3 and the 4, so we know the time starts with the number 3. Next, we need to skip count by 5 to determine where our minute falls on the clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We're 40 minutes into the hour, so we know our time ends with 40, and it is 3:40. Let's look at some examples. For our first one, we have that the hour hand is in between the 6 and the 7, so we know we are talking about the 6. And let's skip count by 5s to see how many minutes we are into the hour. 5, 10, 15, 20. We're 20 minutes into the hour, so our time is 6:20. Our next example has the hour hand in between the 12 and the 1, so the time starts with 12. And we'll skip count by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So we know that our time is 12:55. Let's look at our last example. Our hour hand is in between the 10 and the 11. So we know that the time begins with 10. And we'll skip count by 5s. 5, 10. We are 10 minutes into the hour, so we know our time is 10:10.